For today's walk we've come over to Swindale, which is really in the far eastern area of the Lakeland Fells. And it's a walk we're going to do from Wainwright's Outlying Fells book, this book. And it's the Seat Robert chapter, which will take us over 5 of his Outlying Fells. It's a route that I've never done before. It should be quite easy, but it'll be an enjoyable walk on a beautiful spring day. So while I drive down to park up at Swindale Foot, here's the route we're going to take. The location for this walk is in the Lake District, a few miles south of Penrith, and just to the east of the northern end of Haweswater Reservoir. We're parking at the good car parking area at the entrance to the Swindale Valley at Swindale Foot. From there we'll walk along the quiet lane past Swindale Foot Farm to Truss Gap. Using the footbridge we'll cross the beck and then head left up the old Corpse Road, heading in the direction of the hamlet of Talbot. Before we get there we'll head southeast, across the moor to Langhowe Pike, carrying on to Rowantree Crag, over to Great Ladstones. We'll have a look at Gambling Crag and then on to Seat Robert. On leaving Seat Robert we'll head southwest to High Wether Howe, then we'll turn northwest up to Fewling Stones, past Beastman's Crag, and then down Gowther Crag Gill to Truss Gap and back to the car. It's a good parking area, which is free, and there's room for several cars. Once parked up, just get onto the road and turn right towards the entrance of Swindale. As you'll see from the signage, there is no parking further on past this gate, and turning around on this narrow road is very awkward, so it's not worth even trying to get past here in your car. It's a good lane and it's very quiet. You go past several of these old barns. Just as you approach Swindale Foot Farm you can have a look over to the left and you'll see the route that we're going to take on the far side of the valley. And just carry on along the lane. In a short distance you can see a sort of new concrete structure that goes across Swindale Beck. This is actually a water catchment, and that takes water through underneath the hillside and then into Haweswater Reservoir. We're going to go through the gate and then we'll head right along the footpath, and you'll see Truss Gap and the stepping stones just over to your right. This is where we follow the path round to the left and then left again, up onto the Corpse Road. This gently ascending path is the old Corpse Road, and it comes from Mardale and then heads over into Swindale and then on to Shap Abbey. The now submerged village of Mardale had a church, but it was only allowed its first cemetery in the 1700s. Before that time, all the bodies from the village were carried from Mardale over into Swindale and then on to the church at Shap. It's a lovely path, and we've timed it right as the gorse is now in full bloom. And then we turn sharp right to head south again towards Langhowe Pike. If you go too far, you'll see a wall, so retrace your steps and pick up that path. The path's a little bit indistinct, but just continue to head south and you'll come to the top of Langhowe Pike, where there's a small cairn. There's some really good views from here, especially towards the far eastern fells.
So here we are at the top of Langhowe Pike. In Wainwright's day it was 1313 feet, it's now 1316 or 401 metres. Nice little cairn with some nice views, nothing stunning. You stretch out towards the far eastern fells and Kidsley Pike, but otherwise just a nice bit of open moorland. From here we're going to head on towards St Robert, but we've got a couple of places to visit before that.
The paths here can be very indistinct in places, and you'll cross quite a bit of boggy, marshy ground, so make sure you wear some good boots. We're now heading for Rowantree Crag. The fine cairn that Wainwright drew on Rowantree Crag is now completely gone, and as he says in his guide, you'll spend a while looking for the tree of the crag's name. But there is a holly tree. We walk past that, and we're now heading in the direction of Great Ladstones. Another decent sized cairn sits atop Great Ladstones. Not as fine a structure as in Wainwright's drawing now, but it's still a good distinctive point on top of the hill. From the summit we're going to take this path that goes southeast across some more boggy ground. There's quite a lot of it on this walk, and then you'll see a small cairn on a hill over to our right, but we're going to head left to take a look at Gambling Crag. Unlike in Wainwright's day, there's absolutely no sign of any cairn here on Gambling Crag, but it's a nice little top. Well worth a look. And now we're heading over to the main objective of the day, St Robert. A bit of a steep pull up as we approach the highest top of the day. Here there is an Ordnance Survey concrete ring which marks the buried block underneath one of several found on the Lake District Fells.
And here we are at the top of Seat Robert, the highest point on the whole of the walk, and about halfway round. And it's got stunning views in all directions. It's just a shame it's a little bit flat light today. It's been a bit windy, a bit cold, but the views, as I say, are stunning. Up to now, the ground has been a bit boggy in places, but here at the top of Seat Robert, the most unique thing about it is this huge mound of stones, which must be a tumuli. It's obviously not natural. And then there's a cairn and this wind shelter, which is providing us a little bit of a respite from the wind today. So from here, we're going to walk round, we're going to do High Wether How and then Fewling Stones and then back down to the car. Be nice if it got a bit brighter, but that's walking for you.
The path across the moorland here has all but disappeared, so we're going to stick right to the fence line. And look, there's a really nice bit of sun coming towards us. Hopefully it'll brighten up later. And I look back to Seat Robert where we've just been. And here we are, coming up to the top of High Wether How. That's windy today.
We've just dropped down from the summit of High Wether How because it's a bit windy, and on this side we've got a nice bit of afternoon sunshine. Certainly lifts the spirits, a bit of warmth, a bit of brightness. And the next walk we're going to do is on to Fewling Stones. Now here at High Wether How is quite an interesting one, because when Wainwright wrote the original copy of the Outlying Fells book, he gave it a height of 1705 feet, and that was an approximate height because it doesn't have a trig point or a spot height here at High Wether How. And he was going by his 2.5-inch Ordnance Survey map, and they had put a 1700 feet contour in a very tight circle very close to the summit. So Wainwright got here, he thought, well, that's 1700 feet, it's only 5 feet higher, so it's 1705 feet. What happened, in fact, is that the Ordnance Survey had made a mistake. 1700 feet is some distance down. The true height is 1742 feet. That's why you see that measurement in the revised version of the pictorial guides and on some of the other hill lists. So Wainwright wasn't wrong, Ordnance Surveyor was wrong. Very unusual. Well, we're going to walk on. It'll be a bit breezy and we'll get on to Fewling Stones, which is the last top of the day before we head back into Swindale. Skylark to greet us.
And this is the top of Fewling Stones. The top's marked by a single stone on a platform of rock.
summit of Fewling Stones we've just been to, and that's our last summit of the day on this round of St Robert. And what we're going to do now is follow the route in the Outlying Fells book and go past Beastman's Crag, which is just down here, you might be able to see it behind me, and then we keep the wall on the left, and then we get above Wether Crag and then down back into Swindale. It's turning out to be a lovely afternoon. There's skylarks about, we've heard a curlew, and it's just lovely. We haven't seen a soul apart from one guy on a quad bike.
A few big strides and we're across Wether Crag Gill. Then we head left to descend down the hill towards Truss Gap. In the Outlying Fells book, Wainwright describes that on this walk there isn't a single fence or wall to cross. But there is now, a large deer fence with a gate in it that we'll pass through to descend down the fell.
We're just descending now back down to the river, and we're in the last of the afternoon sun. The rest of the valley is going to be in shadow, so I thought I'd finish the film here, because all we're going to do is just descend a couple of 100 yards back to the bridge, walk back along the road and back to the car, which isn't extremely exciting because you've seen that bit at the start. Well, to sum up today's walk, it's been an enjoyable walk. Obviously it's always nice to tick off somewhere new and new outlying fells, of which we've done 5. It's a walk, what would I say, if you're not too keen on a bit of damp ground, or if you're looking for excitement and adventure and dramatic scenery, then this walk on St Robert probably isn't for you. But if you're one of those people that likes to come out and just explore somewhere new, walk a bit of moorland, get some miles under your feet, listen to a bird song and have a bit of wind in your hair if you've got some, then yeah, this is quite an enjoyable walk. It worked for us because sort of halfway round the sun came out and it's turned out into a really nice afternoon, which always makes it more enjoyable. I wouldn't like to do this on a foggy, misty, dull, damp day. I couldn't see there being any pleasure in it whatsoever. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing what we've been up to and where we've got to, and following our adventures. If you have, don't forget, it doesn't take long, just click that like button, and even better, subscribe to the channel. Those subscriptions will give you updates to future films. But as we listen to the bird song, watch the sun go down, go back to the van for tea, we've had a good day. I hope you've enjoyed watching. See you next time.